My question was, do you stop him tweeting a lot?
Yes.
No, you don't have to.
But when you leave the house, I can't stop you. So that's a problem. But if we're at home and he's like, I really want to tweet this.
Yeah, there's just a lock
I'm like,
on
Ben,
my phone.
Just stop. Ben, stop.
Hey, another Wednesday, another A Conversation With podcast. The podcast where I essentially relearn how to talk to another human being face to face, since essentially most of my job is locking myself in a room and talking about the news and judging people for a living. And today's person I judged, I'm kidding, actually the people that I talked to today, because there were more than one, Simply Nailogical, Simply Ben Logical, Cristine, Simply Nailogical. She has a nail art channel, but it's not just about that. It's very much kind of personality. Sometimes they talk about serious topics. They also have a new and successful nail polish business in Nailogical, which I'm very excited to see what they do. But really, one of the reasons I invited them on is just, I've met them a few times before. Last time they were in town, my wife and I had dinner with them, and they were just fantastic, lovely people. Right? Because when you see people on the internet and then you meet them in person, they're not always the same. That's an unfortunate fact that I've learned over these years, and it's also part of the reason why I probably before this kind of closed the door to other people. But they happened to be in town again, I wanted to reconnect, and so we had a conversation. I hope you enjoy.
Hey, welcome back to A Conversation With. My name is Philip DeFranco, and today, oh my goodness, for the first time, we have a duo. We have Simply Nailogical, aka Cristine, and Simply Ben Logical, aka Ben. I know you said not to introduce you like that, but I did anyway.
Just Ben, you know?
Hello.
I'm like Cher or like Madonna, just one name now.
No other Bens.
No.
Sorry, Shapiro. Sorry, other ones. Yeah, thanks for coming in.
Thanks
I know
for having us.
I know your schedule was locked in with a KSI and Logan Paul fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You guys were
Well,
all
she was
about
supposed to be
it.
on the
Big fan of
undercard
fighting.
I think, who was it going to be? Was it Tana?
Oh wow.
No, Ben.
Just, I love that.
I don't like fights.
In the first 40 seconds, you're like, okay, so here's who you're against. We're going to turn this into a big thing.
Is that what you want to see?
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
That I wouldn't know how to, I'd just be scared.
Who's your money on?
In that fight? Obviously you, because you are right here.
I would just run away.
Yeah?
Because I'm not good at fighting. Like, I just would not want to
It
fight.
would just be more about endurance. You guys would just circle. She'd chase, maybe.
Or are you just saying you're a lover, not a fighter? Right?
Yes.
Yes. How we normally kind of open up, I'll have already done a little bit of an introduction, but in your words, for someone that maybe hasn't seen you guys before, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Cristine. I make YouTube videos, have been for the past 5 years. Most people know me as the girl who put 100 layers of nail polish on. But I also, outside of YouTube, work as a crime statistics analyst for the Canadian federal government.
That's wild.
And I have a nail polish line, Nailogical. So.
Go to it right
Because
now.
the first two weren't enough. You need to launch a cosmetics company as well. And I'm Ben. I'm Christine's boyfriend. And at this point, I guess I help her out with the more business side of the channel and the nail polish line, stuff like that.
We also work together, like in the government too. So we work together in every aspect of life.
Wait, really?
We spend
Yeah.
a lot of time together.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't.
We work on the same floor.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's news to me.
I go like this in my cubicle and I go, hi, Ben.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wouldn't recommend
He's
it.
not
but-
sick of me, right?
do you guys get alone time? What?
Well, she doesn't leave the house, so like I'm the one who has to sort of get out, and that's the way to
true.
get some alone time.
That's where the tea run started with.
That's right. I just need to get the fuck out of the house.
You're like, yo, you're getting texts like, why have you been gone for 90 minutes?
Exactly. You've been gone 3 hours. Yeah, I'm just getting some tea. There's a long line at Starbucks.
Wow. Wait, so how long did you guys meet at work then?
No, everyone always asks that. No, there were no work hookups.
No.
There's no drama story there.
No, I'm not looking for that.
We met in school 7 years ago.
We've been
7 years
dating
ago.
for 7 years, so we're
Yeah.
practically like an old married couple. We just don't care about marriage. But we actually knew each other, or we both went to the same university for undergrad. And this was back in the days where like Facebook was a new thing, where like kids would just like add everyone in the same year or program as them.
When it was school based.
Okay.
Facebook.
Yeah.
You
Those
had
years,
to.
yeah, a long
had
time
a
ago.
.edu.
I think they had just opened it up to high school when we were. Yeah, right. Because you had to be in a university to get a Facebook account. Anyway, I remember seeing a picture of this girl. I'm like, oh, that girl's pretty cute. I mean, and then like 5 years later, we both end up in grad school in the
In the same
program
class of like
as
10
well.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like,
So he stalked me
I was
for
like,
5
I was like,
years, is
yeah,
what
did you
he's saying.
track her for 5
That
years?
sounded a lot creepier than I thought it would.
He picked the program.
But at the
based
same time,
on
like
me.
I saw her and I'm like, I remember you.
So it's like internet light connections in that way. Or wait, when did you guys actually meet in person then? Was it
Yes,
like,
in grad
some
school 7 years ago.
bullshit sociology seminar in grad school.
okay.
Pretend you're smart, talk about Foucault a little.
It wasn't bullshit. Like, that's my degree. Thanks.
Which I will say, I didn't know that you have like this 200, 300 page. What is it?
Oh my God, you found my thesis?
Yes. I was like,
doing
they
some light
told me,
reading.
hey, we found Cristine's thesis. And I was like, okay, I'd love to run through that. And they were like,
Sorry
it's
to
289 pages. And I was like, I'll ask her about it.
Yeah, what were your findings?
Oh my God, that's
Wait,
crazy.
Do you remember?
Well, like all YouTubers write books, right? That was mine. I just wrote it before I did YouTube.
Do you remember what it was about?
The pathologization of self-injury and correctional discourse, I think, was my
I love
title.
the way you,
title?
I love
I can't
the,
remember. Was
I
that
love
the
the way
title?
you
I think
did
so.
it.
It's like years ago.
The beginning of you were like, like you're gonna be like, it's
think
kind of
so.
about, and then
And then no, I
nailed
remember
it.
now. Yeah.
I can't imagine putting that much work into anything. That's
Hello, YouTube. All this. What do you mean?
yeah, but this is other people. This is not like, how long would something like that take you?
A year and a half. I think is how long it took me to write. Yeah, like in parts. You write
Yeah.
a chapter at a time or
That's-
paragraph here and there.
That's like I mean,
yeah.
I know that's like what people normally, I guess,
Do in school?
Yeah, but for I think for me now, it's like if I did like one bad thing, as far as like, I did a shitty job, I get another chance tomorrow. That's like if
Just
it's
like
just
this podcast.
it could be horrible. It could just go down in a
Yeah.
ball of fire.
There was a chance we were both considering continuing and doing our PhDs.
Well, we
after
were
that.
because we didn't know what else to do. Like we both applied and got accepted to do our PhDs.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got offered a job at Statistics Canada where
Mm-hmm.
I still am today. And then I was like, I guess I don't need to go to more school if I have a permanent
Right.
job. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we were just going to keep going until we figured out what we were going to do with our lives.
Yeah, and I know that we kind of talked about it a little off camera before. I think the last time you guys were in town. But why do you guys still maintain that job?
Why?
Because it's so alien for like other creators,
Yeah.
but it's also it's weird to say it's one of my favorite things about you because it inherently means that I dislike myself for some reason for being somewhat disconnected from like everyday people. But so
Yeah.
I don't know. I was interested.
Well, part of it is maintaining that connection to a sense of normalcy. Like it would be one thing if we were, working in like the food service industry and all of a sudden you're making millions of dollars on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to quit your job, right? I get it. But we were in school for 7 years to get to where we got in our careers. And we have careers, like I think I could speak for both of us. Like we both genuinely enjoy what we do at work and see a lot of value in it. So it's certainly not for any sort of financial reasons.
Yeah.
We stay there.
Don't tell our boss.
if anything, we're losing money by staying in that job.
No, I know.
now,
That's
just from the lost time, right?
I guess for context though, like I was a lot older than the average big successful YouTuber when I became a successful YouTuber. I was already 26, 27. And by that time I'd already spent 7 years in a career and done 2 degrees. So it was a lot, it would be a lot harder for me to be like, never mind my career because I'd already invested so much time in it. And I also liked it. And I was much older than the average YouTuber. What is like 19 these days when they like find
12.
everything. Of course, and of course they're going to quit their retail job. Like
Right.
I would too if I
Yeah.
was in that position and was 19 and found giant success on YouTube. So it's just a different story as to why like we kept our jobs because we were a lot older. We'd invested so much time and bottom line is we like it.
yeah.
So
Is
yeah.
the word's probably too deep for it. Is it almost therapeutic in a way?
Yeah, that's another thing too. Like I keep going to work so I can stay sane because sometimes this
I
YouTube
love
world
that.
is a lot. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And I'm not that extroverted of a person in real life. Like I'm kind of low key and don't like that much attention, right?
Sure.
And somehow I'm here. But when I go to work, like I'm ignored and it's great. Honestly though, like I put my head down, I type my reports and not that I'm ignored like in a rude way, but everyone has work to do. And I like that. So there's something normal about that I wish to maintain in my life for now. I have a boss that tells me like I need this done by Friday and I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let me do that for you. So I like having a boss and a normal life outside of this life.
I think that just means you're a better human than me.
No, that's no.
No, because I'm
Nope, just
I will-
different story.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say I'm at my So after I sold my company, I technically had different bosses, and I was the worst employee because I had essentially 7 years of I'm like the master of my own world.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck are you?
I think it's more that it just itches a different part of your brain, right? Like we don't take the YouTube stuff too seriously. Obviously, it's big business and big dollars, but it's like we're like testing edible nail polish on the weekends. We don't think we're saving the world, right? Whereas we'll go into work and like I think we're actually doing some meaningful work, like research on, you know, the risk factors associated with like opioid overdoses is like a recent project I was on. She was looking at the outcomes of sexual assault cases and why they don't go to court and result in verdicts. You know, like to actually leave work at the end of the day and feel like that's actually meaningful and, you know, that I think that keeps us there. Right?
Yeah, hearing you guys explain it with that kind of balance, it makes sense. Yeah, it's scratching different itches. So if you get that out of work, what do you get creatively or joy-wise out of YouTube and these videos? And
well, as serious as a person I am when I like to sit down and write reports and run data, I also like to just have fun and relax and laugh. So that's kind of what I do on the weekends. I film my stupid videos on Sunday. We have a good time. I laugh about it, and then I post it the following Saturday, and a bunch of other people laugh. And I just like entertaining and making people laugh. So it started out like as a creative outlet because I started like nail art. I was an Instagram nail artist. That's kind of how my first thing began. And then it transitioned into YouTube, and I eventually put my face on YouTube. There was 2 years where I didn't have a face. It was just my nails. So I grew into it. It wasn't something that I sought out to do. I didn't seek like, I want to be a big YouTuber. Here's my face. That's not how it happened for me. I just wanted to paint my nails and show people how I did it.
How did you, so what made you, I kind of guess, upload those first videos of you just doing nail art then?
So on Instagram, you could at the time post 15-second video clips. So I was just posting this. This is like for fun when I came home from work in between writing my master's thesis chapters. Like I would paint my nails just as a creative outlet because I really just loved
opposites.
it.
I love this.
Come home, paint my nails, post a little Instagram video for fun. I wasn't making any money doing this. I just wanted to. But people asked if they could get longer tutorials because 15 seconds wasn't enough. So I started making 1-minute versions on YouTube. Didn't know you could monetize it for like the first 8 months, I think, that I was on. And this was 2014, 2015. Yeah. So you could, at that time, absolutely monetize it, but I just didn't know.
Took a while.
Yeah.
It was more utility than anything.
Yeah. I'm like, yes, you requested this tutorial longer. Okay, let me make it for you. Like I was actually just listening to comments on Instagram.
I love that.
But she had like, you're one of those people who needs to be doing something. Like once she was done her MA, like once that thesis was out the door, it's like she would come home and be like, I need a project to sink my teeth into. Like I'm a kind of guy like I'm okay lying on the couch watching Netflix. Like let's just hang out. But with her, like she always needs to be doing something.
I feel like I bounce between one. I don't know where I actually land on that because I have this dream. So I'm taking January off. I have this dream of doing nothing.
But will you?
I know. I think I'm going to go a little bit crazy and start making excuses to come in. I'll be like, oh yeah, we can shoot podcasts. You're probably going to come up with a
new show. There'll be like a whole other channel in February.
No, the only way stuff gets created via me is just really chaotic shit. Like even doing the podcast, I was like, we're doing it now, or we're going to do social videos. I'm on vacation. I need to see 3 versions of what this looks like. And then everyone kind of goes a little bit crazy because the rest of the company properly schedules. And then I just throw a big wrench into it.
I think what he's saying is there's going to be a Philip DeFranco TikTok channel in January.
No.
So.
I can't wait to see those.
I look through TikTok and I'm like, I'm supposed to be making something for this to get like the next generation of like 13 to 20 year olds to care about the news, right? Which is like the audience that grew up with me, but I just can't do it. I think
TikTok the news. That would be so cool.
Well, young kids are already doing it. They're like memeing the news.
They are?
Yeah. And it's like, I mean, some of it's like super polarizing, but some people are doing it in like a really interesting way. But I think I've grown up so much with the YouTube algorithm where it's like the longer it goes, I can all of a sudden explain things in more detail, flipping back to, okay, how do you make that? How do you explain something in 30 seconds? Which is really an important skill when it comes to the news since it's so hard to consume. But I don't know.
No, that makes sense.
So since you're the first duo that we have on,
okay,
the duo, I want to see what happened, what kind of things we can see that are similar in your answers and things that are different. And it's not going to be like a quiz on your past, because I hate when people fucking do that.
Fight after this?
The
Yes.
newlywed game. Yeah.
No. Oh man. Have you ever done anything like that?
No, we haven't. We should.
No, we went on.
Like play that kind of game.
On camera or for fun?
You're like, next week's video. I got it. No, Lindsay and I, we went on a cruise, and we were able to get on a newlywed game show. We ended up losing to this adorable couple, and also learning that, we don't remember things the same. And I was like, okay, but no. All right. So quick questions. I'm going to say the question.
Okay.
I'm going to give you 3 seconds. I'll count down, and then you both give an answer. This one is a one word.
Okay.
Would you rather be rich or famous?
Rich.
Oh,
Are you supposed to count this down?
it's
Sorry.
fine. No, I love that. Why?
It's not the fame that I care about, but I don't mind being
Sure.
rich. Like, I guess why wouldn't you want to be rich? That doesn't make sense. But I can see a lot of reasons why you don't want to be famous.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
feels like there's more security, opportunity, fame. Although, I don't know.
Some people want to be famous, and that's their priority.
If you see someone who's famous without money, though, that's usually a pretty sad thing. Right?
Oh, like Bagel Guy. Poor Bagel Guy. Do you remember him?
Bagel guy. What?
He's a person that existed 4 months ago, and then the internet did what it did, and everyone forgot.
Yeah.
Oh.
Some racist guy at a
R.I.P.
bagel shop, I think.
I think it was sexist, right?
Did you cover that in the...
It's been a minute, but yes, I did cover it because it was both weird and I don't know how I feel about like the cringy stuff. I'm like, we should talk about it, right? Because he said some messed up shit. If you could,
I'll wait.
oh wow, this is gonna be heavy.
Okay.
Ooh. If you could save the whole world, but you had to kill the person that you're with right now, would you do it?
Which
3.
person? You or Ben?
No, not me. I don't want to make that too easy. 3, 2, 1.
No.
No.
I was waiting. I was like waiting for a cheesy answer of like, they are my world, and I'm like, blah, blah. All right, let's see. We have. Oh, okay. And then we can see if the other person agrees. What do you think? And you're not gonna be able to say this at the same time. What do you think is your biggest weakness? And you can use it as a fault.
Is this
as well.
couples therapy?
Yes, this is. You're like we literally
What
just did a
happened
session
here?
on this.
I'm not good at communicating. Like, I'm awful at communicating verbally.
Yeah.
I can write everything down and like give me some time to write an essay and make my point. But I'm not good on the spot, which is why I'd never do interviews. Hello.
I will say I was researching and I was like, I don't know where she's talked to anyone. This is gonna be fun.
I don't talk to
but I got
people.
like excited. I got really excited. Okay, so
To come up with your own
communication.
questions.
Yeah.
I don't know. You help me out with this one.
Tell me
What's the worst thing about
Any
me?
weaknesses? Well, there's your weakness.
I can be a little arrogant. I guess that
There you
answers
go.
the question.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
As
I've
far
always
as,
had
like-
that reputation. I think I grew up as a person that always like didn't really have to try in school. I could just do well without trying, and that really doesn't do you
Too smart
any
for your own
favors
good,
long
yeah.
term, right? You don't really learn how to actually work hard because you can just sort of coast on.
And we've talked about this before because I'm the opposite. I actually had to try in school to get good grades. So I developed like a determination and a realization that you got to put in the work because I couldn't just slack off and get good grades like he could because I wasn't as naturally smart. I'm just being honest. Like I had to try. So I think we have very different perspectives on that, but we've kind of ended up in the same
And so
spot.
we're a good complement to each other in that way, though, right? Because you have the work ethic to actually be industrious and get things done, but I can actually contribute some good ideas sometimes.
Oh,
Wow.
Thanks.
I love that. And then, would you both agree with what you said?
Yeah. I agree with what he said. Is what you're saying. Yes. Yeah, he's a little arrogant. Yeah.
I'm aware of her communication skills
Yes.
lacking sometimes because I pre-edit her videos too. So I'm the one who gets to see like all the bad takes of videos. Like we don't have any outside help with YouTube. Actually,
still
that's
think
probably
that's crazy.
something worth saying. There's no editors, there's no agents, there's no managers or anything like that. So
Because you can't manage me.
Boom, boom. I get you on the managers and the agents. I know that there are people out there that provide benefit, but I'm like, you bloodsuckers.
Like I already have a boss. So
yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, we've thought about the editor thing, but so much of because I think she looks at it as more of like a creative outlet and
My own
hobby.
little project.
If she's not doing the actual video production at a certain point, like why are we doing this at this
Sure,
point?
yeah. When you guys explain like what you get out of the kind of the duality of the duality of your life. No, but I mean it makes sense, right? It feels like less of you just putting out this product and like it's actually the process that is beneficial for you.
I guess, yeah, like I don't have big hopes and dreams of being on Broadway or in some big TV video music production or something as a result of like being famous, and now I can find all these bigger, broader opportunities. That's not why I do YouTube. It's not a motivator for me. I just want to sit in my basement and paint my nails and make stupid videos, and I can film them myself. I don't need anyone except Ben to help me out with those. So we're kind of happy just doing it as we do. Yeah.
At the same time, we're kind of hitting a wall and getting burnt out. So we do think about like what are there aspects to this we could farm out, like an editing team, right? But
except I don't want other people to see all my mistakes.
You just have to have trust.
I would be way too nervous filming if I knew someone else was going to have the footage. Like I wouldn't be able to film.
I think this partly explains why she's done no interviews as well.
I was like, well, I was like, I'm not you, so I can't like speak to be like, well, actually, but I definitely relate to that fear. But then I got over it once I realized, oh, this is, well, one, it was better than what I was doing, but I also didn't really add personality in my edits. And then two, it just freed me up. And
well, yeah, it's a barrier to your growth if you handicap yourself in that way.
I think it's an important point though, like the personality in your edits. If you're, like a baking channel and you just need good aesthetic shots of a cake, who cares who's editing that video, right? If your editing style is a lot of what makes the video entertaining, then I think it's a really different question, because then essentially like you're hiring an editor to actually produce what is interesting about your video. And that just feels
in your
a little
voice,
weird to
your
us.
Personality, putting captions over your head. Like I just can't imagine someone else writing weird shit about my head other than me, where I put like weird yellow text or make my face all distorted.
Don't you think James has like a folder of all like your worst takes?
oh yeah, 1,000%. Once the show's done, my career's done. That's why I gotta make whatever I'm gonna make.
You're gonna get exposed.
That's fine. I've been very upfront with everyone that watches. I'm like, here's the thing. I'm like I am on the podcast, but I'm far more passive aggressive because I'm scared of being overtly aggressive because I'm just really trying to go through like what's the best of the worst options. That's it. Me being passive aggressive, dismissive, and then just let me grumble to myself in my room.
How much footage, like if you're releasing a 20-minute PDS though, right? Like how much is your editor cutting down from?
Well, including just empty audio space, probably 60 to 80 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Maybe. Yeah, it's a lot because I'll leave it on and I'll try different takes. Probably an extra 4 minutes is me trying to pronounce certain words correctly, which is just infuriating because I still always get like one or two things wrong.
A dozen.
Dude, I only until last night after saying it wrong 9 more times did I finally start saying DAZN. I still
It's a terrible name.
I resent it.
Oh,
I resent the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the person you respect most in your life and why?
Ben.
Other than each other?
Yes, other than each other. This is I'm not just trying to give you guys points for each other.
I love you, honey.
That's a tough one. You want to hear something like kind of maybe too honest, is that we have like there are not a ton of people in our lives. We keep like a really tight circle in the sense that like we are each other's rocks in a lot of way. And like we have very little social life or
We have no
anything
friends, is what
outside
he's
of
trying
this.
to say.
That's not entirely true, right? But do we have some idols or people we really look up to? I don't really know if that's the case.
What about growing up then with your child brain not knowing the full situation on someone? I was like, mine was Sylvester Stallone.
Oh,
Which makes no sense. But yes.
I really like Christopher Hitchens as a kid. I read a lot of his work.
I was like, I have no idea.
you don't know
I'm not
who
a
that
smart
is?
person.
He was one of those like
He's an author.
back when there were a lot of books about like from new atheists, Sam Bennett, Sam Harris, Daniel Dennett, those guys. And that was just sort of like more of like a challenge for your brain to, I guess I was kind of like arrogant teenager, wanting to get in arguments with people, argue about religion and stuff like that. But
Do you feel like now that you have kind of more of an audience that has stayed the same, or you're more careful?
That's a good question. I mean, I know the Simply Nailogical audience has changed because it started as just people wanting nail tutorials,
Sure.
right? And then now, since Ben has been way more videos and we have these little conversations sometimes at the end of videos, we get into like more adult topics, like you were talking about taxes and wealth tax last time randomly in a video about soaking off your nail polish. Like it's random.
Yeah, we're not trying to be like preachy or anything. And the primary purpose of the video is to just be entertaining and a little goofy, right? But we do sort of inject, almost like they're a Trojan horse, these brief little conversations about, I think, real issues like the value of education or why we think Facetune is an incredibly damaging thing to the self-esteem of young girls in school, or randomly just talk about taxes for a little bit. And I'm surprised how often, like when we get stopped on the street by someone who's not, you know, like a 13-year-old, like there's older people watching, they'll always mention the fact that we have those little nuggets of real conversations in there, as like they thank us for doing that. Like,
yeah,
you're sneaking in vegetables.
For the first few years, like I never had any of that kind of content, like opinions or thoughts on meaningful things in life. It was just fun and silliness and nails. But then I guess at some point we just volunteered some information and realized there was a lot of people who wanted to hear more.
Yeah.
Like they wanted to hear us talk like as real people and have opinions on things. So we just started adding it in our videos later.
It's not like we're getting too deep though. Like we're having like a 2-minute diatribe about whether a wealth tax would make sense.
It's not the purpose of my channel. Like I just want to entertain and make funny videos, but we're more open now to including conversations because we realize the audience has changed and people keep saying like we want to hear more from you, and they've said things like we want to see you on a podcast. So hi.
Well, I'm glad we did it this time. I know that we were kind of talking about it for a second because you were in the studio. You shot a video with my son.
Best video ever.
Oh my God. I felt so bad for the second half. Like I love the first half.
Fun.
And
like,
then
where's Trey? Like that's why I came. No?
I came to do his nails again. Oh no, he would just be screaming. Like I was saying before, it's I can't even shoot an episode of the Santa Barbara Show. I need like another 6 months for him to forget that moment happened, and then we got it.
Is he still going to be cute in 6 months though? Like,
is he still going to be cute? I hope so. When do kids get strange looking? Like what is it like? You just seem like
I guess like
weird...
shortly before they're teenagers.
Yeah,
and they're just starting to turn into more real people.
My brain doesn't let me think of like me before 15 because it was just a nightmare sad situation of just look at that awkward person. Yeah. Look at that really. Yeah. Did you how was actually, so I mean we talked about college, how was it in like high school, middle school?
Well, we were opposites. We didn't know each other, but I was not popular, hated going to school. I mean, I loved like my classes, but I was the kind of person who would eat lunch in the bathroom.
Oh no.
I just didn't want to deal with anyone. I just wanted for high school to be over, and the second it was over, I picked up, moved 4 hours away, went to university, lived in residence, and started a whole new life. Yeah. At 17. Did
you dream of that? Of like kind of you had to get away?
I could not wait to leave and just start over and make my own life. Yeah.
Was there any reason?
I mean, like,
you don't have to say anything.
It's just a lot of people experience this. I'm not alone. Like a lot of people just have really shitty high school experiences. Like maybe you're just an outcast, and maybe there's people who bullied you, and maybe you didn't have the best family life and you just wanted to get out. So I realized at a young age, like that's what I needed. Yeah. So I was 17 because I have a late birthday, and university began when you were 18 or 17. So I was 17 when I left, moved away from my family. It was crazy young thinking back that I just like decided my major and now I'm moving. Goodbye, family. But it really worked out, and I'm so happy that I did that.
Do you ever, now that you are in this place of, it seems much happier than what that was and successful, do you ever look back to any of those people that you were with? I used to.
And wonder if they watch my stupid videos.
No, maybe if they watch, but just like you check in on what they're doing. Cause I know that in my first 5 years when I was probably my most petty, I would
stalk people on Facebook, Phil?
Oh yeah. I was like, did you fail or succeed? Did you fail or succeed? I need to know this so I can figure out if I'm winning in my life.
I actually blocked everyone.
Oh shit.
Yeah. On Facebook. I literally blocked everyone.
Probably so healthy.
Scorched earth, right?
But I didn't do it because I couldn't handle seeing them. I just didn't want anyone to find me, which is now really ironic. At the time, like I was not on the internet. This was a long time ago. but I blocked everyone. I didn't want to be found. I used Facebook to keep in touch with people for school because that's what I was using it for, was a tool to like get in touch with classmates. But I blocked literally everyone from my high school. And then now I realize like they can all find me very easily.
But I feel like, I feel like that was a nice-ish thing of the time because you can't escape it really unless you go through even crazier steps now.
Yeah, we were right on the edge of that, I think. Yeah. So we got a little lucky. Now, like, kids have their entire lives on social media.
I didn't have Twitter until 2016, so you won't find any bad tweets from me.
That's not a challenge, by the way.
That's not a challenge. Okay, well, we're bringing up Twitter Advanced Search.
There's nothing.
Shit.
I was already like 26 or 27 by that time, so...
I don't think it's a coincidence though. Like how many YouTubers talk about the fact that they were like outcasts and loners in high school? I think quite a few of them are maybe just saying that to be relatable because they think that's what their audience wants to hear. But
maybe
I think there must be something to it as well, right? Because, you know, is that really popular, you know, star of the football team dating the cheerleader? He's sitting alone in his bedroom filming YouTube videos.
Well, I mean, I would say there's a difference now. We had Gabby Hanna on and we kind of talked for a second about it. Feels like it's the popular kids now that are blowing up first.
Maybe that's why the new people, you know,
they kind of get under your skin.
Maybe that's why.
You're like, you didn't have to fight for it. You didn't feel weird, although you were arrogant.
Yes.
Yeah, Ben had a different high school experience.
Were you like,
it's not that interesting. I was just, I guess, popular enough. I was like the lower level of
Popular
the popular.
enough.
I want that on a shirt.
I was popular enough.
Well, I didn't hate high
And mine
school.
will say I ate lunch in the bathroom.
No, like I was like a band geek and stuff, but I was also getting invited to the cool people parties. But like I wasn't, you know, dating the hottest girls at school or anything like that, right? I was just like, I was cool enough to get invited to those parties, but not really be like the.
You were friends with
super cool
everyone,
people.
kind of thing.
Yeah, but I also went to a high school that wasn't super cliquey or anything, you know? I think your high school experience was much more.
Yeah.
Like you
divided.
went to school in a kind of waspy rich area, didn't you? And all like girls with like daddy buying them BMWs.
They all had BMWs. And I had a 1995 Subaru Legacy.
oh my God.
I was lucky I had a car. My grandma gave me that car.
Yeah. Oh man, kids are fucking horrible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, now you're making me think.
And
I was
now, they're more horrible because some have Lambos and they're just like making videos. Like, what the hell?
and then showing off that crazy wealth just gets them more wealth.
Yeah.
We're all gonna just it's going in a. You know what? Actually, wait. I had someone on last week and I realized that maybe I'm being too negative about the kids and I'm like locking myself in as like angry old man
on porch.
I'm like, these kids, I'm like,
we can't balance that conversation for you. Sorry, though.
Hey, really quickly, I hope you're enjoying the podcast. This is a small little break. If you're enjoying the show, you want to support it, and you or someone else are in the need for a high-quality pomade, a beard oil, maybe some candles, lip balm, look no further than beautifulbastard.com. It's high-quality, ethically sourced, cruelty-free, handmade in the United States. The pomade is what I trust in my hair every single day. The beard oil, while I can't enjoy it, is loved by so many. And best of all, if you are a newcomer, our newest launches are the variety packs. You know, that way for the lowest cost possible, you can find your favorite scent, your favorite hold. And best of all, today, if you use coupon code ACW, you will get 20% off your order. Of course, remember, it is first come, first served. Also, that code will work just for the next 48 hours. All, of course, at beautifulbastard.com. But that said, enjoy the rest of the podcast.
We're coming back in most likely from a sponsor. It's a competitor, Holo Taco. I'm sorry.
What?
No.
I'm leaving.
I would love it. They would advertise with me. They're like, Philip DeFranco. He knows the best of the best.
Maybe we should talk to your ad people, right? How much for a Holo Taco ad read on the PDS?
Like you need it. You guys don't you guys
Here,
sell
just
out?
go like this, wave your fingers around.
Yeah. This is the ad.
I will say, one, I know that you were embracing the sup meme, but I saw that you you pimped out our Have a Great Fucking Day box. Thank you.
Oh, I think
that was like
the last time we were here.
Yeah.
I think you just gave us.
I'm just like, because I don't do like the PR package thing, and I was like,
that's
oh shit,
cool.
Oh, that's like a nice thing.
Because I think we gave Lynn's some Holo Taco. She got a PR kit, right? Or you did? I don't know. Someone got
she
it.
did paint my nails, yeah. And then I feel like people are disappointed that I kind of just went back. But I don't know. With you guys coming on, I decided to almost be a grown up, and for about a week, I have filed my nails.
Wow. And not biting them?
You're just trying to impress us.
I'm
Phil.
trying. Oh my God. I'm
judging you.
Yeah, no, I know. It's my worst habit. I would easily say it's my worst habit. It's like I haven't learned in 33 years.
Well, once you have nice nails like this, then you don't want to bite them
Thanks to
because they look
Holotaco.
nice.
We're not going to pressure you into painting your nails. Although I will say, I think that seeing Trey originally, like how did we
Yeah.
actually start talking, right? Because it was when Lynn's posted a picture of Trey with his nails painted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she had some sort of speech about how she wanted him to feel okay about wanting that. And we just thought it was like a super progressive, interesting approach to it, right? And since then, I think I've noticed more that we're getting comments from like younger boys who want to wear nail polish, and the fact that they'll see a guy like me who like, honestly, like I don't have any interest in wearing nail polish. I just do it for her. And I was talking to Julian Solomita about this as well. Like when we get those comments from like a little boy saying it means a lot to them to see like a guy wearing nail polish, like,
I've heard those comments too. So 10% of my audience on YouTube is male, and I'll occasionally see a comment like saying, I watch you even though I'm a guy, and I really like, sometimes I want to paint my nails, but other people think it's weird. And you've given me confidence to know it's okay because they see Ben and like, it's not a big deal. Do you have nails? Then you can paint them.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the celebration and normalization of this thing that I think, and maybe it's going away more and more, and it's easy for me to think that while we're in California,
right?
But
Yeah.
it's of like people immediately associating something to something that they've deemed a negative, right? Because I don't know, our policy with Trey, and he's only 5, right? And people. The internet's great because they want to award me Father of the Year for like not fucking up yet. I'm like, just wait till he's 18. But it's just like, just let them try. If it's not going to hurt them, let them know that some people might react a certain way. But I don't know. It's not like it's going to change him. I think I'd much rather have the conversation of, I feel like my dad let me try stuff than they really were weird about this one thing.
No, and I mean, we're not parents, but we are, I guess, mom and dad to some people.
Yeah, but I think it's just
it's
just a human thing, and you don't necessarily have to have kids to have like that mindset of. I mean, you said you have a younger sister, right?
3 years younger.
3 years.
I'm not saying
she's. Yeah, but I mean, did you? Well, maybe I'm completely wrong then. Did you take care of her, or you was like, no, you guys hated each other?
No. We hated each other in high school, but who doesn't? But then after that, we're really close, and we still are.
Yeah. So it's like it's just caring about another person. I think. Maybe I'm minimizing what it is to be a parent. I don't think so.
No, I think that's a good point. And I really liked the Trey video for that reason too. I mean, people thought it was entertaining, and Trey's really cute and awesome on camera, obviously. But I got a lot of comments too saying like that it was so cool to see like Trey, a young male child, put on nail polish and like
young male child,
whatever.
Young male child. Are you lizard people? Are you lizard people? Be honest.
Can we borrow your young male child for a video?
It made a lot of people feel good because maybe they have kids who want to experiment with nail polish and they have relatives who think it's weird, and it's like, no, what's the big deal? It sends a good message. So I think that it's
or
good
maybe we just want to sell more nail polish to a broader consumer market.
not-
I mean, you do have that secondary reason. It wouldn't hurt you.
That's right.
No, to kind of, maybe it's connected to Holotaco a little bit. You kind of said that you were kind of hitting a wall, getting burnt out. Is it because of all of the things, or is Holotaco still in a place where that's like an escape or a side thing? Like, I'm interested in.
I mean, I always love projects, so here we are again. Another one. But Holotaco, I've always wanted a nail polish line. I mean, like, why wouldn't I? With my history of just loving nail polish for years.
And there were offers to do it like
many
4
offers.
years ago. That would have been
with large companies,
very lucrative deals, but we just weren't confident in their ability to actually
do what I wanted.
Yeah, and it was
Which
more
is
of like
quality.
a quality.
Yeah.
Well, especially in that space, it's like if there's a misstep, it seems like it will follow you forever.
Yes, it is a very dangerous game to be playing.
Like I will say, I've talked about it before. I used to think that the news and like just like the political sphere, most volatile. No, makeup and beauty.
The beauty community
is wild.
Yeah, I guess the nail polish stuff's kind of on the peripheral of that, but I guess we're kind of like beauty guru adjacent.
Yeah, well, I guess because it's like you're not.
I don't completely fit in, but like they'll be my friend on the side. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah, but you're not directly competing with like all the people that just launched
I'm
stuff.
not their competition. I'm not beautiful enough, and I'm not selling makeup palettes.
But what if once they realize like Holo Talk was big, what if all of a sudden we start seeing like
more people?
Yeah, it's like nails.
I think we're safe because the profit margins on makeup are amazing relative to nail polish.
I was like, one, I've heard, and then two, I watched the Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star doc, and I was just like, fuck my God. Like the only thing
How much work it is. And everything?
No. I skimmed through the amount of work and the number of people, and I just looked at the margins, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Like
we watched that series keenly because we wanted to see if some of the margins and things kind of confirmed some ways we were approaching our business as well. Yeah. It was super
I wonder what like the long-standing impact of that is going to be, because it feels like now people are going to use that and be like, well, where's a similar deal? Like whether it be merchandise, which I think as far as like seeing Shane's journey and stuff like that, that was the most interesting, because the business side is it's a part that no one talks about. It's all super scattered. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so when's your makeup line coming out?
Well, I was going to say, so many people have been like, all of a sudden, I think non-traditional
I'll
people.
Snapchat it, no charge.
Non-traditional people in the space have been all of a sudden, I think, looking at it. But then, so I wonder if there's genuine interest, if there's going to be kind of like a wave of cash grabs, or if people are gonna be like, well, you're kind of coming in second. It was like when people tried to rip off Shane's doc style after he did it.
There is a lot of beauty influencer collabs.
It's already pretty saturated.
It's a saturated market, and I see that feedback just from people in general.
And the Shane case, like, is that a precedent, or is that like a lightning in a bottle situation? Like, I don't mean this as any criticism of Shane, but you literally have a guy who, like, to be honest, like, he's not an expert in makeup. He's just new to this space. I believe he was doing it for the right reasons, but like a guy who doesn't know much about makeup selling to an audience who I don't really think most of those people even cared about the makeup side of things. He had an audience of people who were willing to financially support him because they love him so much.
Interesting.
Like, did it even have to be makeup he was selling?
Well, I mean, he had the different makeup, the merchandise,
bags. There was other things, but like all of it sold out. It didn't matter, I guess, is his point. If it was the eyeshadow or the pig bag,
right? So if it was less about the appeal of the actual release and more about the support.
And that was sort of the framing of the series, right? Like the very first episode was, I know everyone assumes I'm a really rich, famous YouTuber, and like, I have money, but I'm not on the Forbes list like Logan Paul, right?
Sure.
So it was almost like the framing of the series, like, this is my way of actually making the money people assume I have already. So
I'm just playing catch up, guys. I just don't want those sites to be lying.
It's funny when he crashed Shopify though, because that's a pretty insane moment. When we launched Holo Taco, we talked to people like, is there any risk of this happening? And they're like,
no, never.
Kylie Jenner launches products on
and the website's fine. So we're like, okay, we're fine.
Like, that's the best advertising.
To sell like over 1 million pallets in the course of a few hours when no one could even get on the website. That's some next level shit. I watched that both amazed and feeling so shitty about myself because like my success is a different. I'm like, oh shit, we moved several thousand units in an hour, crushed it, and then you see that, and then I'm like, yeah, sure, it's different, but yeah, I think it's one that audience that probably, always to bring it back to TikTok, that started young, followed, really like gravitated towards someone, but I don't know where you go from here, I guess. I think we still haven't from here.
Where Shane goes, where a lot of these guys that we think of kind of like, you wouldn't say top out because it sounds like we're saying that they peaked, but like, where do you go from such a massive success? I mean, maybe you can replicate it, but I don't know.
Depends where you want to go, right?
Where do you want to go?
Not off platform, right?
Off this podcast right now.
No, like, I don't have the same, like I mentioned earlier, like giant hopes and dreams to be a movie star or something that other people like Logan Paul's an example of someone who said that he has these hopes and dreams to be the biggest Hollywood star. Can't relate.
Yeah, right.
So I don't have big plans to do that. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing.
It is kind of weird when like people use YouTube just as a stepping stone to get somewhere else, right? I mean, I'm not going to begrudge them for approaching it that way, but I think we've always appreciated the creators who like just respect the platform and art form for what it is. And it's made millionaires out of a lot of people who have like no business or in no other context in life would have become this successful. So I know it's like really popular to just shit on YouTube because they make mistakes. They're not perfect, right? But we've always been a little more, I think, friendlier, understanding of.
Well, it's a rough, I think, yeah, it's taken me years to realize what a hard spot on some issues for them, like this COPPA $170 million settlement.
Yeah.
And like January's going to come around, and even though it's the FTC, everyone's going to say, fuck YouTube. And I'm just like, guys, I don't know what
Yeah, but they're,
tough.
I mean, it's young enough. They're still putting out fires, right? Like when, pedophiles are putting timestamps on videos and like all of a sudden this video maybe isn't monetized anymore. Sorry.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
But I mean, like, how many YouTubers did we see just saying, YouTube, you're taking like food out of my mouth? Because their AdSense is going to go from a couple $100,000 a month down to like something less, right?
Sure.
Because you can't monetize your kid in a unitard anymore. Like, come on. Like when we see that, I don't know. It's hard for us not to judge people who with that. Yeah, I don't know.
It's one of those things where I was without the settlement. I don't know if the story would have gotten that big, just because when there were kind of adpocalypses in the past, you always had kind of all the main top YouTubers or like people that adults normally watch talking about it. But the family channels have gone through like a series of hits, but it's super underreported because it's 12-year-olds watching the content. And I feel like based off of before the COPPA or the fine and the settlement, it was thanks to 2 channels. One of them was Colleen Ballinger's sister, just kind of like bring it into the ecosystem. But I don't know.
Maybe we'll look back at this time as like, these were the glory days, man. AdSense was flying and who knows where it's going, right?
I mean, I've been demonetized a few times too.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, my most popular videos demonetized.
Was it Shroom coming for you?
No, yeah, it's conspiracy. No, it was the Return to Polish Mountain. It was my follow-up video to the 100 Layers video. It was retroactively demonetized. I think it has like 27 million views on it.
For profanity.
For
right?
profanity, because I said fuck in the first 30 seconds, even though I bleeped it.
I hate that.
And then,
I hate
so
that.
the
That's
whole
so
video, I
stupid.
can't make money off it anymore. But they demonetized it like 3 years after it was up.
And they play it at like YouTube parties.
And they play it at YouTube events as an example of like, here's some of our creators who've done amazing things. But like that video also can't have ads anymore.
That's infuriating. That's like the less polarizing.
Like, I'm not that bad. That's what I'm like, really?
Hey, we heard, we knew the intent behind what that bleep was.
That Polish Mountain video, oh no, not appropriate for advertisers or children, no.
At the same time, you'll never hear us complaining about
yeah,
the
I never even
financial
mentioned this
situation on
before,
YouTube.
actually. I don't think I never mentioned to my audience that Polish Mountain was demonetized.
They're going to rage.
Now they're going to riot.
They're going to rage.
It's okay, yeah.
I mean, maybe it is because we do still work those traditional jobs, and I was going to say like know the value of a dollar. I mean, I don't mean to be condescending, but like what?
So you never grew out of it.
In a month on YouTube, we'll make more than we'll make all year working our day jobs.
Yeah.
So that seems insane to us,
what
right?
If my boss is watching? My boss watches your show.
Really?
Yes.
I'm always thank you.
Us.
Thank you. I'm always surprised who watches. My number one thing, well, for the podcast, it's usually kind of twofold. I'm like, 1, oh, you actually watch the show. And then 2, actually, I'll ask this question to you. Why did you come on to do this?
Yeah. I never talk to people.
I asked and you said yes, but why'd you say yes? Like, what goes through your mind to do, especially for you guys, this thing that you've never really done before?
I just know, like, a lot of our audience asks for it. Like, they want to hear more of us talking, and we don't really, I mean, it's our choosing, but we don't make it so we have a platform where we can just freely talk. Like, we don't post videos that are long and of just us talking. So we don't have much of an opportunity to do that. And we don't really want to make an entire podcast. Just to do
The
that.
same reason we go to VidCon. It's just an excuse to have fan meetups and not have to be the ones who organize it, you know?
Okay. So we're using Phil?
We're just using your platform to talk to people.
To you guys.
Take them. It's fine. I love that.
Why did you want to have us on?
I thought it'd be an interesting conversation. Just because, I mean, because last time, well, maybe you've done other visits, but when you guys came out for VidCon, 1, I like that I actually got to meet you guys without a camera in all our faces. Yeah. I feel like that's, even with this podcast.
But did it happen if it wasn't?
Well, no, it did happen.
No video evidence.
Like half the reason why we even take, we have staff taking pictures when we start is because when we were talking about places where there's kind of a policy of like, hey, let's not do any like social media stuff. Like that's always been a policy at our house. Every now and then we would have someone that didn't really listen because they didn't think the rules applied to them. But I feel like that's a big part that's lost, is getting to know a person without the camera. And it's not like I super know you because we had I think that meal was way too long. Right? I think they were like taking their time. It was like 2-3 hours. No, it was great. But I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to kind of expand, but it was also, I felt uncomfortable, like just springing it on you while while you guys, because then it feels right. Then it would have felt transactional, right? It's like, hey, I'm giving you my kid,
and now you have to
now you do my podcast. You have to do it.
I appreciate what you're saying, because early on, I would say we did a lot of collabs with people like we didn't even know, and I think looking back, we wouldn't have.
We learned.
That's not a best. It's really nice to actually meet someone, have a meal with them, get a drink, sort of actually get to know someone.
So now, like in the past 2 years, I've only collabed with people who I know and like feel like we're friends, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't do as many collabs.
Well, I was like, who have you collabed with?
Sophia, we've done a few times. Threadbanger.
Yeah, Rob and Corinne from Threadbanger.
They've been around for a long time,
YouTubers,
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
12 years
Before YouTube was YouTube, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But I've been asked to collab with a lot of people, and it's not anything against them or their channel or that I want to associate with people. It's just like, if I don't know you, it's weird. Yeah. So I would much rather someone say like, hey, do you want to hang out? Like, honestly, like I'd like to meet you and then hang out, and then maybe if we like each other.
But like, what can we put it?
I want to go on a date first before we get into bed, you know?
I like that. I mean, there is something that's a little bit, and I feel like old YouTubers saying it, but it's like, I do miss some of the kind of just hang out, not film it sort of things. Even though some people would always film, but it feels like there always does have to be a purpose behind it.
It's harder to get to know someone when the camera's right in your face, like at the beginning, because you're not sure to what extent someone is performing.
There's always this weird thing, like, is this an internet friendship or are we actually friends, right? If all you do when you get together is film things, like, are we actually friends here? Like, I'll always wonder about like Dobrik's crew, right? All they're doing is filming, you know, Zane gets wasted and he films him, you know, hurting himself. Like, are they friends, or are you using your friends like potential alcoholism for content? Like, are you buddies? Like, what's going on?
Where is the line? That's an interesting question. Yeah. I mean, the way that I've heard of those being filmed, it feels like it's a mishmash of like people that definitely like each other, but it's super organized, which based off of like what they put out, I think it kind of reflects that. But I feel like that's a very unique situation. And there's probably, there probably is a pressure to maybe do things that you normally wouldn't do when everything gets like 5 to 8 million views and sells a fuck ton of shirts.
You always have to keep upping yourself. Yeah, it's tough.
Well, that was like the prank problem. Where it was just like, how
more extreme.
How can we do it from here? And then someone almost dies.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen. I would hate to see that.
On our channel, it's just like your nails are gonna explode or get hurt one day.
Well, didn't you? I only
Too many experiments on Ben.
I was like, I saw the video and then I saw you tweeting about it. What was with the nails that like
the exploding one?
Is that what it was? They come off. They like. I like that. I just did a sound like blah, 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 blah. They like bubble off, and it's
so it's industrial paint stripper or a derivative.
We suspect it's industrial.
We think it's industrial paint stripper, and they're marketing it as like a gel nail polish remover. But you know how paint stripper behaves? Like if you put it on a rim for a car, it'll like bubble up. That's what happens on your nails, but it's the same shit. So they're selling it in a bottle for you just to use on your nails, which I don't think is safe.
So like the doctors covered it and like used her footage.
Show,
It was pretty funny.
What did they say?
They basically confirmed the same thing we said.
They said exactly what we said. But they're doctors.
Solvent.
They're doctors. Right?
It's in the title. Just
the doctors
in case you ever wonder.
The doctor stated the obvious. Wow.
Don't put paint stripper on your hands.
You learn something every day.
But thanks for testing
His
that on me.
nails
I
are
really
okay,
appreciate it.
by the way.
I was like, how much? I was like, how much Googling did you do before you put it on?
Good question, Phil. How much Googling did you do?
I was like, it feels like you know how to research for a living.
Well, like it can't be me because then Simply Nailogical is over.
Actually, that was one video where it kind of ended with us a little angry at each other. I'm like, what did you just put on my nails? Yeah.
I knew it'd be fine. I didn't touch your skin. Like I've touched paint. Here's the thing. I worked in a car shop growing up because my dad owned an auto body shop. I've handled paint stripper many times. I used to literally put it on rims myself. I have eczema permanently because of handling paint stripper, I think. On one hand. Seriously. No, it aggravated it when I was like 14 years old. And I'm convinced that that's why this hand is all messed up.
We can ask a doctor.
We could.
I'm suing my father.
I'm suing my father.
So I
this
handled
permanent
it
damage.
like, it's fine. You're fine.
Oh, thanks.
Wait, so did you know how to work on cars, or?
I did not work on cars myself, but my dad owned like a body shop where they repair
Okay.
cars. So I would do rims. I would hand paint the insides of custom rims. When
Oh,
like
wow.
a client wanted like a black insert, I would hand paint it because I was good at painting, I guess. So
When
my
did you-
dad asked me to help.
When did you discover that you were good at painting?
I guess in high school in art class.
Okay.
I just liked it. Like I'm not really that talented at painting a portrait. I can't paint a portrait of a face or anything realistic
Sure.
at all. But I have, I guess, good abstract skills, which is what you say. Like when you want to be creative, but you
can't
don't know how to
actually
paint. Yeah.
I love it. When you were talking about, because I'm not going to ask what are you going to do in 3 to 5 years, right? Because you said you were talking about the
Same
future.
thing,
No, but what do you see as success then from here? Is it kind of, because you have a good amount of success. So is it maintaining it? Is it growth of some sort? What kind of growth?
I think what we've
Staying
talked.
sane.
Yeah,
for
honestly, it's-
success would be I would consider successful.
It's a coin flip. It feels like.
Yeah.
What we think about a lot is making sure we're doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
I think so. If we're to continue doing this, it's not just because
It's-
AdSense is good.
It's not because
Sure.
like we're not selling nail polish because we want to make millions of dollars. Like
Yeah, our
that's
motivation
not why.
hasn't
First
been.
of all, profit margins will not allow that right now. But like that's not our main motivator. Yes, people run businesses. Yes, they make money, and that's fine. But for us, like my main motivator wasn't just to get money for my subscribers.
Sure.
I really wanted to make a cool, funky nail polish brand that people love, that people want from me.
Right.
So
Yeah, and it could outlive the channel too, because right, like, is the channel going to last forever? No, right? I mean, there's like the odd unicorn like Jenna Marbles who can do this for 10 years, but other than
Yeah.
that, So, I think we only want to keep doing this as long as she's genuinely enjoying getting on
Yeah.
camera on the weekends, right? And it's not always easy. There's some weeks where it's like, I'd rather just be sort of chilling and, I have Holo Taco stuff to work on and stuff like that.
I'd rather
but-
take my swatch pictures, which I was doing all week before coming to LA, was taking swatch pictures.
Yeah, so it's not that we think like, oh, in 5 years I want to make sure we have 12 million subs and like we
Sure.
don't have like goals in that sense.
Yeah.
It's more like if we're making YouTube videos for the foreseeable future, I hope we're only doing it because
We like it.
yeah, it's something you genuinely want to do. And fortunately, she has an audience where it kind of seems like we don't take this for granted, but it doesn't have to be nail polish related. It could be her like cooking a meal. Like she could do basically anything, and there is a core audience that's going to watch that. That doesn't mean we're just going to
There
make
was
a
a
bunch of
while
like, low
where
effort
I
content.
couldn't
but-
though. Like for a while, I was strictly nails, and when I made a video that was just about my cats or like something random, people would be like, "We want nail polish." Or like,
Yeah, but then I feel like you just have
but
to
it's
shed those
grown.
people.
It's
Yeah.
evolved,
Yeah.
and now there's people who watch not even because of nails. I have tons of people who watch and they don't paint their nails.
Sure. Yeah. Well, so I really like, because when we were talking about the business, I was like, in my head, yeah, it was this cool thing. I thought maybe you were doing it for sustainability in the sense of so then you can continue making the content. But I really love the idea of it's like it's for someone and their experiences, right? It's like it is. I guess the question I want to attach to that is there a first or a second time that you remember nail polish really mattering to you or feeling like really cool?
In high school is when I started painting my nails.
Yeah.
I had like a different color on every finger, and I'd paint a stripe down the middle. This was before nail art was on the internet.
Sure.
There was no Pinterest when I was in high school. There was no Tumblr, but I've just always been into it. And I just liked being funky and crazy. I have different colors on my hands at all times. Like it's
Yeah.
not because I'm, I need to have specific French tip manicures to look like Vogue or fancy or whatever. I just want crazy sparkly nails just because I think it's fun. So
But it's just like, well, when you're asking us this, like where we see things going and like what success means to us, I guess we're not the type of people who actually sit back and like think about what that 5-year, 10-year plan is. And like, why do we work so hard for all of this? It's just because we enjoy doing it. It's not like it's the journey, not the end or whatever
Sure.
that expression is, right? Like we're like killing ourselves working like between the job and the nail polish business and YouTube videos. Like it's basically like having 3 jobs.
Yeah.
And there are times where we look at each other like we're crazy. What are we doing? But I also like wouldn't give any of those things up because I think genuinely enjoy all of it. And, I think we're both people who need a reason to get out of bed in the morning and do something, right? I don't want to be sitting around eating grapes and watching Netflix 12 hours a day. So, it's not about like hitting some sort of end goal. It's more just while our bodies are allowing us to work 18 hours a day, we're
While
going to do
I'm
it.
still kind of young, I'll do this for as long as I can.
If you had to let one of them go of the three things,
What would you take to the island kind of question?
yeah,
Yeah. So 3 things being what?
YouTube.
day job.
YouTube, and Holotalk. Oh
Yeah.
my God. No. I don't know. Like there's a pro and a con.
It's a loaded question.
this is
I think it would have to be the day job at this point.
Right.
But if you were asking me 10 years from now, you know, what am I going to be doing when we're in our 40s? What are we going to want to be doing? Making goofy 12-minute YouTube videos still? Like, who knows what it's going to look like at that point?
Right.
But I could see myself actually getting a lot more enjoyment and satisfaction and meaning in the kind of work we do for the government, right?
yeah.
So
Or running Holotaco, right? There's so much more we could be working on behind the scenes if we weren't busy making videos. But right now, like, I use the product in my videos, so they
Yeah.
kind of complement each other. But in the long run, yeah, like, I don't know if I'm going to be making videos in 10 years. But who knows? Maybe I'll be making, like, here's my overnight oats recipe, everyone. I don't know.
I was like, you did that 3 weeks ago, yeah?
I think we got to do
I was like, Lindsay and I wonder how many couples watch you, because Lindsay and I, like, it's like you and Dobrik. Well, you, Dobrik, and Sophia are like the ones that we wait for each other. Otherwise, we can watch solo. And
Can't
so I
watch without me kind of thing.
Yes, yeah. And she gets so angry. If
Well, I remember the very first time we met you was at the Streamies, right? What was this, 3 years ago? Because she was nominated for Breakout,
For Breakout,
Creator.
and you were announcing it. Or
Yeah.
Is that what it
presenting
was?
And you
Oh,
gave
wow.
this interview we found where you basically said,
yeah.
yeah, my wife made me watch this like nail polish girl, and I think she's really
I think
funny.
it's interesting, yeah.
I think it's really interesting. Is that the year the Liza one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That bitch, Liza Koshy.
No, I love Liza.
No, join in. I'm going to use it in the intro.
You know, my
No.
sister's favorite YouTuber is Liza.
She's one of the most likable people. She came. I felt like such a piece of shit. She came in here and hugged literally everybody on staff. I feel like she knew everyone's names by the time she left. And I was like, who are you?
Yeah.
How is this
Not
possible?
human, alien.
I was like,
Yeah.
I go in, I just try not to make a mess, and then I leave. That's it.
Yeah.
But I only brought it up because it's only the first time we met, but I think that was a moment where we realized, like, yeah, she's not going to be winning awards over Liza Koshy. Like, let's not kid ourselves,
Whoa.
right?
No, it's true
Whoa.
though. Like, I didn't want to win.
We know what it is. And because it's also, we're on the peripheral of this. Like, as soon as people hear, like, she works and then
A day
YouTube's almost
job.
like a part-time
They
thing.
think I don't take YouTube seriously or I'm not that invested. So there's also kind of that disadvantage to having a job outside YouTube because people think I'm not fully invested or I don't care that much about YouTube.
But
which
the
is not
Streamies
true.
was the first time, I think, that first one where like people like you like came up to us and said really nice things. And then, you know, Jenna and Julian came up and said they really appreciated our content. To have people that we really respect on the platform and like and watch their content, for them to say they like what we're doing or like that it reminds them a little bit of old school YouTube, like that's worth way more to us than a
it
Streamy
meant
award.
a lot.
Was
Yeah.
that kind of maybe one of the first moments that you felt part of the YouTube community, or do you feel like you're part of the YouTube community in that sense?
Yeah, I think the Streamies thing kind of brought it together.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't come to LA much. Like, we live up in Canada.
Right.
You're like, stay there. It's safe.
Yeah, it's safe in Canada. Let's go back. Our flight's
Well, most
tomorrow.
Canadians leave, right? And
Do they really?
Most Canadian YouTubers, like they're
They just
they're
can't wait
classified as
to-
Canadian, but then you look where they live and they all live in LA. So
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's so not as necessary. I feel like it's definitely like it's the idea of what it is. Where I don't know. I feel like there's especially for like the people that are vlogging. Like I don't need to see 20 different versions of LA. Just
No.
show me like what it's around, like what it's like around you.
but
Yeah, I
people
think
come here for opportunities and working with.
Yeah, but unless you
companies
want to
and
be the
other
voice
things.
of like a mouse in a Pixar movie, why you have to move to LA?
Bad example, but
I was like, is that a specific reference? Or
I don't know.
You're like, that's actually my fourth dream.
I understand why people move to LA. There's so many more opportunities to do things and collaborate.
Opportunities
with
of
people
what, though?
And
Like-
businesses.
Well, just because all
yeah.
other YouTubers are here.
No, not just YouTubers, but like makeup collabs. I don't know. A lot of them are LA based, so it's easy to talk to the company if you just live here. There's events. Events are a huge thing, especially in the beauty community. None of which I'm invited to. But
You want to go? You want to go tripping
not
with
really.
Tart?
You're
How does he know
you're
this?
like, guys, wait, what? What
Have you never heard of that? There's some makeup companies that basically just like fly influencers to like exotic islands on these luxurious vacations.
For like releases.
Yeah, just to
For-
like, you know,
for promo
post our
and stuff,
palette a
yeah.
few times and we'll send you to Bora Bora.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You
It's
don't
not a
know
bad
about
gig,
this?
you
It's
know.
a huge thing. Yeah.
Me? No. When you
You
say
don't watch
like
all the beauty videos?
I just watch when the teeth come out and I'm just
Okay.
like, oh my God.
Oh, that's what
What's-
you like.
That's what it's hard to ignore. It's
Show us your recommended videos section.
Oh, right
Is it
now?
all a bunch of T channels, Phil?
no, right now it's because right now it's mainly Wheel City Heroes, which is a children's channel. It's there's a cop car that keeps the city safe, and Carter and I watch it so that he stops screaming for a little bit, and we get to hang out. It's nice.
Oh.
On the note of that sounds so bad.
Segue from
No, on the note of T channels, I would say one, it seems like Ben is far
Is-
more outspoken about
Do you
this
think
community.
he's T-spill? A lot of people ask this question.
there was
I was like, well, I
know.
know for a fact he's not T-spill. Or do I?
Oh, do you know T-Spill?
Do you know for a fact, though?
Yes, we hung out. No, that's not. It's actually me.
She's some Canadian.
She's Canadian. That's
yeah.
why people say that.
There's only 4 of you.
That's right.
There's only 4 Canadian
We're
YouTubers.
neighbors. No, I do regret some things I've tweeted out in the past, and I've tried to sort of shy away. Like, I don't want to be embroiled in any of that.
You don't want to be
drama or
mean
bullshit.
for the sake of being mean, but I understand having an opinion that you want to express because we have a lot of people who listen to us and want to know what we think. And sometimes just saying nothing can do a disservice to your fans.
Sure.
I'm more on the side of saying nothing just because, like, I just don't want to cause shit. That's not what
Sure.
I want to do.
Yeah,
You
it's
think less about that fact and just say what you
less
want to say.
concerned.
Yeah.
it's hard to know where to draw the line between, you know, legitimate criticism, and I think at times maybe we've talked about I've talked about specific people as an example of something wrong with, you know, the culture of the beauty community or something
Sure.
like that. When really I could have just made that criticism about the community
A broader
overall.
level. But as a consequence,
more
people
general.
think he's
Yeah.
like attacking an individual, which isn't a nice thing to do. But you were trying to illustrate a broader point, I guess.
Yeah, I'd like to
Yeah.
think so. Like, I'm not. Yeah.
The thing that's
We're not in high school.
yeah, the thing that's rough about like
I'm
even
31.
the thing that's I feel like rough of even making it general, and because it's such a minefield that then people will see it as not you making a general statement but subtweeting, and they're like,
Yeah,
well, you're obviously
that's
talking
a-
about
Yeah.
this person.
That's a good point.
And
yeah.
so yeah,
So you can't win. Just stop tweeting.
Yeah, just actually.
no, don't.
Well, what do you get
I
on
was like,
Twitter? Though,
I feel
right?
like I said it this the first time we went to dinner. I was like, I feel a kinship when I see your tweets. I'm just like,
Are you?
Oh, I wouldn't
liking
say
them?
that.
I don't like them
You're
because I know
ghost-liking
because I
them.
know
Okay.
people. I know
Pay
people are
attention.
no. I don't have the whatchamacallit, the time to like alternate like different accounts.
Switch accounts,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I just look and I go, I'll bookmark stuff and I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Like my favorite channel for a long time was H3H3, and I think
Yeah.
when they were at their peak, at their best, not to say what they're doing now isn't
Whoa,
good, but
deep. That's deep.
there was a time at which like it felt like their content was like the moral barometer of YouTube, and you could count on them to really call out bad behavior from prominent creators. I feel like that's not. I don't know if their influence on the platform was good at the end of the day, because you have like a ton of reaction channels that are just mean and not really clever or like having
That was an
valid or
unintended
useful criticism.
consequence, I think.
Yeah, in their wake. But I mean, I'm not to say we're anything close to what their influence is in that respect, but like, do we have some sort of obligation when we see other YouTubers behaving badly who are very much in this world and prominent and huge creators on this platform? Do we have some sort of obligation to our audience to, you know, provide that sort of counterpoint? Like, to what degree do we feel like we should be doing that?
Yeah.
That's really that's rough because one, it puts you at risk. But is it? I don't know. It's a weird line.
Is it a little easier for us because we're not like fully in this world, right? We're up in Canada. We still have the other job.
We're in
I think-
Canada. They can't find us.
I mean, it definitely means we bring a different perspective to it, you know, because, you know, we still work a more traditional job and things
Sure.
like that. I feel like like even with like the demonetization stuff, like I brought up again, like there's so many YouTubers who complain about demonetization all the time.
I'm guilty of that.
I think they're doing it in like a really cynical way, and they would never tell their audiences like how much money they're actually making, right? Like,
sometimes they hide really how good they have it just so they can gain sympathy. And I'm speaking generally, like as a trend, I have seen this.
I can't believe you just did the vocal version of a subtweet. I can't believe you threw out that shade. No.
Yeah, we see that because we know how much money a lot of the
people are making. Yeah.
We could just compare views and we know how much they're making, but yet they're complaining like, how am I supposed to put food on the table? And they seek sympathy from their audience. And it's like, dude, you have millions. Like, but you're not open or transparent about that fact with your audience. So your audience just feels sympathy and feels like YouTube is robbing you of everything, which is far from the truth.
Yeah, I think one of the main concerns that I won't shit talk, because one, I definitely complain. For me, it's always like the suppression or lack of promotion that's sometimes associated, even though it's two different systems regarding monetization and recommendation.
And transparency too. Like, I'm not saying that we shouldn't complain about the transparency issues or lack of communication. Of course, there's merit to that.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking specifically of some people who've said that YouTube's going to make them broke or they're going to be on the street, when that is so far from the truth.
I'm trying to go through my catalog. I'm like, no.
I think I'm not thinking
examples. Of you. Yeah, I'm not thinking of you. Like,
but like, look at any time YouTube tweets or posts something on Instagram, anything. Look at all the comments, right? It's a bunch of young kids freaking out and getting mad at YouTube. Why are they doing that? It's because the creators they watch and love and respect are telling them that YouTube is fucking them over. And is that really a fair assessment of what's going on here? It's not that YouTube's perfect. Like, we're not coming this from like a hail corporate perspective, right? Sure. But at the same time, I think I said it before, right? Like, there's so many people who have become millionaires off this platform that in no other walk of life would probably have come to that same success. How many like DIY girls who are just making their room look cute, or like, you know, making their shirt into a crop top, have become millionaires off of this platform?
Yeah. I mean, I would say the counterpoint to it would be that there's a large benefit for YouTube, right? That even if a video has been demonetized, it's still eyeballs that are on the site that hopefully will stay. And I get what you're saying, but it's like,
they want your content to be monetized, right?
Yeah, but I think I don't know.
not Polish Mountain.
Not that one. Sons of bitches.
But no, it's the long-term health of the platform they care about. If they could monetize every video on the platform, of course they'd do it, because that's in their financial interest.
Sure. But then it's like, to then see it from their point of view, it's anytime there's monetization on something that even remotely shouldn't, they get hit by like the Wall Street Journal.
Exactly.
They get hit by.
So now they have to be far more conservative, which I understand, from their business perspective, that they had to do that.
Yeah. I think, if you're a creator, even if you have 1 to 10,000 subscribers, you gotta, especially at that point, because you might even be able to do better conversion numbers. Like, you need to have some other stuff. Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm. I mean, before Holo Taco, did you guys even do merchandise?
Yeah.
Oh, you did a little
merch. A ton of merch, actually.
Yeah. Like, that's such like an important thing. Sponsorships are hard for some people
too, were big for me. I think more in beauty you see that way more, like affiliate links. So I've always had that for 5 years after using nail polish products from whether it's Amazon or other companies that I have an affiliate relationship with. I just have a link and I get a small commission.
Can the Amazon stuff actually move numbers? I've seen people do it. I've never tested it.
Yeah, I use it, but I use it extremely passively. Like, I'm never like shop the Amazon link down below in the bio. But I will put my camera equipment, just say like, this is the camera I use.
Sure.
Here's my, like, here's affiliate links. It's a small source, but I see people buying like tea mug warmers because of me. I have an Amazon like favorites page. You can put it together. So there's like hollow slippers, tea mug warmers, like nail oil on there, and people like buy all that stuff from Amazon because of me.
Have you searched Amazon to see if there's a cutout of you?
A cutout?
Wait, Luke, can you do that real quick? And we'll see. I was randomly Googling my name to see if people were selling, because I'm a narcissist, and I was like, do I matter? No, to see if people were selling old shirts, because I was seeing, like, it seems like there's this interesting resale market that was very much a part of shoe culture that is being associated with some YouTuber drops. And we never really did drops, but we now have products that are no longer there. So I was like, let me look it up, and I found some, but then I found full-size cutouts of me dressed up for the streamies for sale that are
How
complete
much?
decent. Well, there's one I guess that's like this, and maybe it's like $20-$30, and then there's a full stand and
Full fill for $100.
full fill. You know what? The deal might be better. I'm not sure. And then I saw some for Felix, and then, but I think I was starting to see it's going to be a travesty if I'm not seeing you guys.
I've seen. No.
What
He
the
said
fuck?
no. I've seen rip-offs.
We're not a big deal enough, man.
Oh,
We're not
shut up! I hate you.
I've seen rip-offs of our merch on Amazon, and then Holo Taco, after we sold out after lunch, they sold the kit, which retailed for $60, for $250 on eBay. All of a sudden, they were there for a while. So
Yeah,
that
that sucked.
sucked. Don't buy from eBay.
Well, Amazon too, right? We had to send all these takedown notices because they were ripping off our merch at one point.
Oh,
Because
my
what happened
gosh.
with Amazon? At one point, it seemed like it was very reliable what sellers were on there, and then I think that's changed at a certain point.
I don't know. I know that I'm only slightly aware of how the system works because a buddy I'm very fascinated with. When I was growing up, I'd always tune into like buy those ebooks that are like, this is how you could turn a profit here. And so like the version that's
Build
out
your
there.
business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the version that's out there now are all these people that sell people like ebooks or programs around how to drop ship. And so it's why you'll essentially just get a bunch of Alibaba shit on Amazon. And then, and you'll get a bunch of garbage. You have some winners, but yeah.
But we had such a hard time getting them to take off like the knockoff merch we had, right? Remember we had
Because
to,
we weren't an Amazon seller. So they didn't really care.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's nasty. Wait, was your answer to that then to be like, well, we'll put, this wasn't a problem with Holo Taco. It was a problem with
No,
merchandise.
Holo Taco
This is,
was on
just
eBay,
apparel back
but our
in the
merch
day.
was on Amazon from random third-party sellers in Vietnam, I think, is where they were
Yeah.
based. Random.
They're like, shut us down. We'll literally do it again.
Yeah, and they did. Like, there's still some.
They're just
It's
like,
crazy.
there are hundreds of listings. Of
But I
it,
think
too.
a lot of people, it probably comes back to the thing that you mentioned about Shane of it being about support, right? Where they'll actually seek it out. Although I would love to see how much illegal shit is sold. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
If it's like enough to make you go, son of a bitch.
Yeah, well, it was more sad. Like we saw people literally buying those knockoffs, and
I
like
know.
they were just getting these really shitty shirts, right? Like
It was fake Holo. It was awful.
it's not the lost money we cared about as much as like some people are like ripping off our fans, right?
Yeah.
We want to put.
And
a
then the
stop to
fans are
that.
disappointed they get this like crappy quality
Yeah.
because their mom thought it was from the right site or something, and it was not. Like, I don't want that either.
Like other than YouTube, Holo Taco is really the thing we're investing energy now. Like we don't really do merch right now.
Is that do you have a team set up now for that? Or is
For
it?
merch, we were doing it for a while, but now we're just too focused on the nail polish that like that's the
Well, I
main
mean, on the
thing
nail polish. Is it, have you like hired out a team?
to make the nail polish.
Yeah, we've
No, I
got
make it in my basement.
No, I know. I know that you could like have a cosmetics lab and all that like set
Yeah.
up. But I mean, is there like a team? Is it like this person's on marketing and this
Yep.
person's on? Okay.
Yeah, well, there's been growing pains for sure, but
Sure.
like when it was more successful than we originally predicted. So
Sure.
all of a sudden we're having to scale up more than we expected. So maybe at launch we thought one person could do marketing and something else. All of a sudden it's very clear like we need more people than we
Sure.
originally anticipated, right? So yeah, there are some growing pains there, but yeah, we're very comfortable with the team we have on it now to the point where she can be more of like just the creative director and sort of oversee things on a more kind of executive level. Yeah.
We're going to get to like, this is going to be the last two questions. The first one, one of my favorite things is that I found out about Troom Troom because of you guys. And I wanted to know, are there other cringe channels that I'm not aware of?
Oh my God, so many.
How many Troom Troom channels are there?
Yeah,
are you
there's
aware
like
it's-
13 Troom Troom channels.
Well, because essentially is it all just different languages or?
Yes, but now they're expanding. Like they have different names, like 1, 2, 3, Go and Woohoo, I think is another one. It's all the
It's all
same
the same
actors.
people, we think. Yeah.
It's crazy. Like,
Well, but they just
and
they,
we're so dumb. We keep watching all of it. It's working.
just promoting it every time. But
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a whole business model. Is
Oh,
like,
yeah.
this is cringy and weird, and people are gonna. It's like having a restaurant that you specifically try to have a 1-star review in hopes that social media people will be like,
We'll go there.
I went.
I ate at
Yeah.
the worst restaurant.
It's
in
actually
LA.
amazing.
Yeah. 5 Minute Crafts is another one that's equally well. Theirs is less cringy and more just like so obviously recycling their own content for profit. Like they put the same videos in different videos, and I guess people just
yeah.
don't notice. So they like 10 times their revenue with the same content. just by
Well,
making the same.
I wonder how many
video.
people watching are like return viewers versus just people sporadically finding their videos so that maybe they're able to get away with it.
I wonder if it's just strategic from like you sit your kid in front of an iPad and they somehow end up in a Troom loop. I assume that's how they're getting all those views,
Maybe.
right? Because like you're not sitting your kid in front of Saturday
Where will
morning
those kids be
television
in 10
shows
years?
anymore.
The kids who are watching Troom on loop.
Making that.
I'm worried for the future.
But like, I think it's like almost thumbnail driven more than the content. Like the content's crazy too, right? But what they really care about is like, there's so many thumbnails of just like really oversaturated, like a mouth biting into something that it shouldn't be biting or something like that. Is there some reason that like very young children are just clicking on those videos and then it's just auto playing all their other videos?
Yeah.
It's almost like the Spider-Man Elsa stuff back in the
with
day.
the giant syringes and Spider-Man's butt or like that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But that was clearly like
Weird.
clicks
Very
was the
weird.
clear
Very weird.
motivation. Like the content didn't matter in those. It was just two weird adults flailing around in spandex for like just over 10 minutes, right?
It's very
Just over
it's
10
very strange that you would get that success and then think to yourself, it should continue to be incredibly inappropriate and at times predatory, even though it's most likely making us just crazy amounts of money.
Everyone has a different business model,
We're gonna ruin the children.
Yeah.
They're gonna have weird
but we
nightmares.
will be rich.
And then the last question I always try and ask, what's a piece of advice that you would give to someone listening that might make their life a little less garbage or help them,
Less garbage.
or help them towards, something that they're trying to achieve?
I thought you were going to say, like, what's the advice to how to make it on YouTube? Because I think that's a question we get a lot from
Yeah.
people.
I was like, try really hard, get lucky. Is that the answer?
Yeah, pretty much.
And then try and keep up a schedule that doesn't make you slowly go crazy.
Try and stay sane. Good luck. No.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, on the YouTube side of things, I think we always, whenever you see like these surveys they do of young kids now, it's like 80% of them
Want to be
want to be
YouTubers.
YouTubers, right?
Yeah.
First of all, like think of what the world looks like if 80% of people have like vlog cams. That's like some dystopian, that I love. Like
wouldn't
that would be a
work.
good sci-fi.
It's not possible for 80% of people to be famous YouTubers. Like society would not be balanced. Who's making food? Who's cleaning the streets? Like who's your lawyers? Who's your doctors? It doesn't make sense.
No, they're all just vlogging, being a lawyer.
Yeah, no.
No, but I think what we tell those people is, like, why are you doing it? Do you want to be are you saying that because like you just want to be famous?
You want to be rich or famous?
Is that what you're asking? Or do you care about video creation? Do you
Yeah.
Are you interested in editing videos? Is it something you're passionate about that you want to film and upload to the
What
internet?
videos would you make? And then a lot of people are like, I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out.
And this approach to life like
That's always,
extends
yeah.
beyond YouTube, right? Like find something you love doing and do it well and try really hard at it. And usually that will result in something good.
And or you will begin to see it as a job and then hate it.
I think the advice I would give, because I get this question a lot, is especially for young women out there, like how do you balance being like having a serious job, let's say, but also having fun? Because sometimes I get comments saying, does your boss even take you seriously because of the stupid shit you do on the internet? Like, how could I possibly be perceived as a professional? Right. And I just want to show people that like you can have fun outside of your job or whatever it is you take seriously in life and still be a smart, responsible person. Like you can do both. And I get a lot of slack sometimes from people saying like, oh, this is a dumb nail chick. just because I have fun and I've chosen to make entertaining videos, but that doesn't mean like I'm some dumb idiot who is incapable of writing a research paper or whatever it is. Like people don't really, it just kind of sucks. And I see that a lot, especially about women. Like you can't be both. You're either this like, like not that intelligent person having fun and trying to make money off people, or you are smart. But if you're smart, you can't possibly be that silly at the same time.
Right.
So I think it's important to remind people like you can do both. You can have fun.
Yeah. I feel like, people definitely like to put others in boxes.
Yeah.
Just to make it, one, maybe easier to understand, or two, make them feel better about themselves. Because that was a thing that I wondered if it's just mainly derived from resentment, right?
A bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
Like, how is it possible?
I'll say that. I don't want you to have to say it.
I think we would say it. I mean, we see we see the hate comments and stuff too. I feel like her audience, her comment section is pretty clean. Actually.
I was like,
Yeah,
what
I'm
hate
very
comments?
lucky. I don't have that many hate comments.
Yeah, I was
I'm
like-
very lucky.
There was a time that we would get a lot of it, or you should
Yeah.
get a lot of accusations of like, oh, you're just trying to be Jenna Marbles, you're just trying to be
really?
someone else. And I feel like women often just get compared to someone
Compared
else.
to other women, yeah.
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 Thank you guys. That's a horrible note to go out on, but that's where we're ending
Just
it.
be kind to others.
Yeah.
Yes, also that.
Unless you want to shit post
Or
on
just
Twitter.
don't be a sad person on Facebook whose life is like, writing essays about how much you don't like an internet personality.
I'm like, every time you say something like that, I'm like, what's the specific thing that you're talking about? I'm so intrigued.
We'll talk off camera. If you take me to the Cheesecake Factory, we'll talk about whatever
That's
you
where
want.
Ben will spill more tea. Yeah.
For the next month when I'm saying a source said, it's just Ben.
Ben.
It's just Ben. Thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you
Cool,
for having
thanks for
us.
having
Yeah,
us.
this was fun.